Welcome to Table Talks Uganda or tabletalks.com. In this video, we shall look at introduction to indexing numbers. So, as earlier on we finished the previous chapter, now we have gone to another chapter, that is indexing numbers. So, what is the index number? Or if they tell you to define index number, how do you define index numbers? How to define index numbers? Just index number is defined as defining as the techniques of measuring changes. Techniques of measuring changes in variables or group of variables or group of variables over a given period or given time, over a given time, over a given time or given period, geographical locations or other characteristics like sometimes it's called professions, other characteristics like profession. So that's how you define our index numbers, as the techniques of measuring changes in variables or group of variables over a given time or geographical location or other characteristics like profession. So this index number mainly measure the quantity or the change in commodities. It can also measure the economic change in commodities. Index numbers measures percentage change in the economic commodities. If the values of index numbers are given by let us say, if the value of index number are given by, for start, maybe you have index number is given by 120. If the value, or you calculate any index number and you get 120, this one means you have obtained an increase of 20%. This one indicates an increase of 20% in that index number you are calculating. If you are calculating the price, then it indicates that there have been an increase in the price by 20% for that commodity you are calculating. And then if you get a value of index number as 90, this one means there have been a decrease. There have been a decrease in the value of that index number by 10%. Decrease of 10%. So if you get any value of index number that you are calculating and it gives you 90%, this one indicates that there have been an decrease in the value. So if you are calculating the price of a given commodity and you find out it is 90, then this one means that there have been a decrease by 10% in that price of commodity you are calculating. And then if you find that index number is about 300, then this one indicates that there is an increase in the price of commodity by 200%. So what do you take out of these statements? 120 is increased by 20%, 90 decreased by 10%, 300 is increased by 200%. This one indicates that index number is measured over 100%. So its value gives you over 100. So if you finish that, we shall go to the next value. My duster. After finishing index numbers, there are some terms used in the index numbers. Terms used in index numbers. Terms used in index numbers. Terms used in index numbers. So, terms used, the first term that we use in index number is what we are calling the base year or base period. We can call it base year or base period. Base year or base period, that's the term we are going to use, or the term we shall be using today in this topic. The first term is base year. So base year basically means the reference year where you are being asked to calculate the index number from, or where the price of index number changes from. That is what we are calling the base year. And then the base year, after base year we shall look at what we are calling the current year. The current year, this one means the year which you are calculating the index number to, of the year which is changing from the base year. So when you get your current year, it means that you have been referred to a base year, which let me say, if you are from 2010 to maybe you are calculating for the index number of 2013, then this one become our base year, and this one become our current year. So after being given any information, the first year you obtain is what we are referring to as the base year, and then the second year, which they tell you maybe calculate this index number from this year to that year become current year. But in case we have another year, maybe 2015, then they tell us to calculate the index number from 2013 between 2013 and 2015. And then obviously the base year and the current year will not remain the same. If they give us a point of reference as 2013, then our 2013 become our base year, as 2015 is becoming our current year. So that's how we calculate the index numbers, or that's how we use these terms in calculating the index numbers. So after knowing how to get or to obtain base year and the current year, let us proceed and see what are those index numbers, or what do they include. What we are going to is called simple index numbers. Simple index numbers. Majorly here we have 3 values of simple index numbers. They are major 3 values, so you can use 3 values, which these values include. The values of 4 simple index numbers include: the first one, we call it price index, or you can call it price relative. Price index is defined by, price index or price relative is defined by P1 out of P0 times 100, where P1 is the price, in the current year, and P0 is the price in the base year. So that's how we calculate the price index as our first simple index numbers. Then the second one is what we call wage index or wage relative. Wage relative is defined by, wage index or wage relative is defined by getting wage 1 or W1 out of W0 times 100. Then where W1 is the wage in the current year, and W0 is the wage in the base year. Then the last term we have what we are calling quantum or quantity index. You can call it quantity index or quantity relative, but sometimes they call it quantum index. Quantum index is defined by, quantum index or quantity index is defined by Q1 out of Q0 times 100, where our Q1 is the quantity in the current year, and Q2 is the quantity in the base year. Base year or base period. Simply, that's the introduction to the index numbers. Let us see how we shall be calculating our examples.